leadership, 30-day bold brand leadership action plan. We're looking at 30 action steps to design, deploy and dominate your field as a brand leader. So my name is Rachel Quilty, brand strategist. So I'm going to walk you through 30 vital action steps to establish your brand leadership in your field and leverage your personal brand to position your brand as the authority in your field or marketplace. So today we're looking at day 1, action step 1, action step day 2, action step 2. We're looking at discovering your target audience. And so what we're looking at is 3 phases. Phase 1 looks at day 1 to 10, which is our Brand Yourself action plan. Phase 2 is day 11 to 20, Brand Yourself the expert. And day 3 is, phase 3 is day 21 to 30, Brand Yourself the authority. And so the thing that I really want everyone to remember is this: personal branding is a prerequisite to success. So phase 1, Brand Yourself action plan. What we're doing is our Brand Yourself action plan provides you with a solid understanding of what steps you're needing to build a significant and successful brand. So I'm not going to walk through all the action steps again today, but we have 10 that we normally run through. I will just mention that this is just a brief tutorial to provoke your thinking, challenge you to review, rebuild and re-engineer your brand leadership. It's really an opinion based on research. It's not legal advice, nor is there any guarantees of income. So no income is derived from any of the mentions, whether they be companies or organisations. So there's no affiliates, and if there is an affiliate product or a merchant product that I'm promoting, I'll mention that directly. So I want you to remember this: personal branding is a prerequisite to success. So I'm Rachel Quilty, brand management consultant and personal brand strategist at Jump the Queue Inc. We are a brand coaching firm. We have a corporation in the US as well as here in Australia with students and clients globally. So just a little bit of history, I guess, and why I am so focused on action plans and brand management is because of my background as an industrial relations consultant. Looking at employment law, business law, crisis management, if there was disputes, I was definitely involved in them. So strong procedural background, management background, and obviously managing a lot of high-level industrial action and advocacy in the Industrial Relations Commission and the courts. So that's a little bit of background. And just more recently, I've been studying filmmaking, qualified director filmmaker, and script writing, obviously. And I guess my skills lend a little bit more to independent producing, because often we can assist get funding for people. And clearly, I love my brand communication plans and my content creation, so that's me. One of the things that I do mention is that conscious leadership confidence and courage is often mistaken as crazy or being a contrarian. And so one of the things that I love to talk about is how many of the iconic brand leaders, when we think about Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, we think about Russell Branson, and I mention men, but obviously there's a lot of women as well, Kim Kardashian, and there's a host of other ones, Oprah as well, J.K. Rowling's. All of them at one time was considered crazy or contrarian, and what I would suggest is they probably were a pre-runner or a forerunner to being disruptive leaders. So that's what we would call them now. So let's look at action step number 2. So determine your brand target audience. Just quickly, to give us a foundation as we talk to that, I want to just mention briefly the definition of brand leadership. A leadership brand conveys your identity and distinctiveness as a leader. It communicates the value you offer. And it's a quote from Harvard Business Review. So action step number 2, determine your brand target audience. This action step is simply defining your target audience, their expectations and their preferences so that you can satisfy them. Pretty simple, isn't it? But it's not. That's defining your target audience, determining their expectations and their preferences so that you can satisfy them. A lot of people don't necessarily determine what their expectations are, nor what their preferences are. And we often see this message to market mismatch rather than a message to market match, which is often we see that where people haven't focused on branding prior to their marketing plans being implemented and marketing campaigns. So when we're looking at determining your brand target audience, to ensure you give your brand the correct focus, provide to your clients the benefits they require and meet their expectations. To do this, you have to know who your client or customer is, who your customer is, so that they can become a client. And that does take a little bit of, I like to do a marketing plan, I like to do a situational analysis where we actually focus on who our clients are and we can really determine very thoroughly who they are, what their preferences are, what their buying strategies are, what their client journey looks like, what their brand journey looks like. So we go to a lot of detail to determine what is your target audience and what are their needs and expectations, and how do we deliver our brand awareness and marketing plans to their preferred communication channels as well as in their preferred communication style. Very important that we know their modalities and that we engage in a manner that is a learning and communication or teaching modality as well. So we always talk about a successful brand has to satisfy two masters, the brand's owner or the corporation, as well as the brand's customers as the other. And one of the most important things that you need to think about is when you're creating a brand awareness campaign or a brand communication plan and you're targeting your audience, is that you have a very limited time. Some say 6 seconds, but I would say it's less than that, to people make a judgment about you, whether they like you, whether they trust you, whether they want to spend time with you, when they want to do business with you. So very important that initial impression is captured so quickly and that it's an accurate impression of your company and your brand, and it delivers to the customer's preferences. So one of the things that you can do is dive across to Brand Yourself Blueprint and grab our free brand journal and workbook and just do the brand audit that's contained in it. What we do is we look at your existing brand and then we consider what would be your ideal brand. We consider what are the gaps and what strategies you might look at to close those gaps, and then how you might execute. And so one of the things that we do as part of that process is look at your customer touch points, which is really your audience and where they engage with your brand. So very important that you identify them. We obviously provide lists to our clients, and then they have a checklist to run through. However, it is simply looking at where your brand connects with your clients and determining whether the message is suitable for your brand, it's consistent and congruent with your brand, or whether it needs to be changed. Anyway, I'm going to close up with that. Thanks everyone for joining me today. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow for action step number 3.